Okay, so as I said, interpreting means you're translating each statement, each line of code into an equivalent binary notation that can be understood by the CPU in order to be executed. Compiling means you are translating the whole program, the whole file itself, into an executable file. Okay, so that is the main differences between compiling and interpreting. Any question regarding that? Is it clear? Guys?
No question.
Okay, perfect. That's awesome. Okay, so let's start by going over the boring stuff. Then we get started to the most interesting part. So, as we we said that the program is a set of instructions that do some work. Okay. Now, how we design the program, so any program implementation is going through a cycle. That cycle is, first of all, understanding what's the problem itself. Then we have to write the code. And before writing the code, there is some good practices, which is, determining the algorithm to solve that and write it in a something called pseudocode. What do I mean by pseudocode? Pseudocode is a fake code, but it's more understandable by the human, by the reader itself. Okay. And then after we write the code, we run it. If there is any problem with it, like for instance, once you in the lab, I've noticed some of you execute the function forward wrongly because they misspell it. So that's called syntax error. Okay, so you're not following the spelling of the keyword in Python correctly, and test your program, and then correct logical errors. What do I mean by logical errors, guys? So for instance, if I am calculating the salary and I'm giving you the hour rates, and we set up the hour rates into you messed up one decimal point, okay? And you notice that your results doesn't make any sense. That's called a logical error. So the program itself runs perfectly without any problem. However, it doesn't give you the results that you're expecting. Okay, so that what do I mean by logical errors? Okay, so design once you design a problem program, the most important part is understanding the development cycle. So if you are a developer now, this is the best practice. Once you become a developer, you have to work with you want to design a code for somebody, okay? So you have to work with that to get as much input from that customer or the client that you're running the code for it. And then by brainstorming with him, because he doesn't know anything about coding, you are grabbing the information, you're putting it in your mind, writing it, and then after that, you are collecting all the requirements from that customer, and then you can, write your algorithms to solve or to build that program accordingly. Okay, so as we covered in the last lectures, the best practice when doing programming is to break your main problem or the main task that you're doing it into a series of a step. So it's a modular modular programming approach. So once you are, so for instance, you want to collect all the inputs and assign them some variables. So once you've done that part, you don't need to worry about that part. It's a modular based, okay? And then after that, we are creating an algorithm. So the algorithm is, as we said, the recipe to solve a problem, or it's a list of logical steps that must be taken in order to perform a task, okay? Now, as I told you, the pseudocode is a fake code. It's an informal language that has no syntax rule at all. And it's not to be compiled or executed. It's a best practice to, that has been used in order to do the comments. So in Python, if you do the hash sign, anything will be displayed in green, and that green, it will be skipped by the interpreter or the compiler. It will not be executed, okay? So it's used to document each step that you're taking in order to build your problem, and can be translated directly into actual code by the expert who knows the syntax of the programming language. And for instance, if I want to do loop, as I will show you later, I'm going to use either while or for loop, okay? Or for to execute that loop, okay? If I want to do some conditional statements, I'm going to use the if statement. It's just an introductory part. Yeah, I just want you to to understand the terminology, so we'll be at the same page. Okay, so there is something called the flowchart. Anybody knows what's the flowchart?
So the flowchart is a diagram graphically shows the steps that we're going to take to decide which step is right. Based on the situation, we can put some condition as well, and then based on them, we can decide the best way to solve a specific problem. It's some sort of visually a way to visually see how an algorithm is going to work.
Exactly. Astonishing. Thank you for your answer. So basically, the flowchart is a visual representation of an algorithm. So we used ovals as a terminal symbols for the variable itself, and we used parallelism as an input and output symbols. And if we have some conditions, we're gonna use the flipped square. I don't know what's the name of it. And rectangles are used for processing simple. And the symbols are connected using arrows to determine the flow of of the execution of my problem of my program. So let me give you an example. So let's suppose that I would like to calculate the salary itself. Okay. So the first step is starting designing the program itself, and then we have to know what are the hours that the employee worked, and what is the hour rate. And then we can calculate the gross pay as an hour work multiplied by the pay rate. And then we can display the gross pay, and that's it. Okay? So if we would like to convert that to Python, so we have determined the hours worked as a variable. We have to determine the hour pay rate as a variable, and we have to do some mathematical multiplication here, and then we can print the gross pay, the gross pay. Okay. So any questions so far? Okay, we're good. Okay, so let's continue about the boring stuff, which is how computers store the data. As I told you, in the previous lectures, computer CPUs, which is the equivalent, which is the brain equivalent in the human body, they only understand what zeros and ones, okay? Because as I told you, they're manufactured using semiconductors, transistors, and they're just gates that are open or closed. So all the data in the computer is stored in a form of 0 and 1s to represent an electricity, it's going to be either high or low. Now, 0 itself or 1 itself is called a bit. Okay, so the bit has two values, two possible values, which is either 0 or 1. When I'm talking about byte itself is 8-bit, and it's enough memory to store the letter or a small number. Okay, so the bit, it's an electrical component that can hold positive or negative charge, like on or off switch. The on-off pattern of the bits in a byte represent the data stored in that byte. So imagine that you have the memory. Just give me a second. you have the memory like this. That's your random access memory. And this line has 8-bit, so starting by 0, 0, 0, 0, and then 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, and this one 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. Okay, so this is how we store the data on the main memory of the computer itself. Okay, and each combination means that, you know, I'm executing a kind of instruction that has been compiled by the compiler or the interpreter itself. Okay, so you know, because the bit, you know, like the byte has 8, like has 8 bits. How many combination that I can go over my RAM? So how many combination you think so? That's my RAM. Each row is 8-bit.
2 to the power of 8.
2 to the power 8. Thank you so much. 2 to the power 8 is equal to what, guys?
256.
So if this is the address of the first instruction or the first byte, the last address will be what? Come on. What's the last address? So 255. Okay, because I'm counting from 0 to 255. If I'm starting by 1, then it's up to 256. Okay, is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, now this is like not part of the course, but like, you know, it's a revision to the digital realm. So when I talk about digital systems, I talk about a finite state variables. So like, you know, we're talking about a numbering system that has a finite elements. Okay, so in binary, we have only like 0 and 1. In octal, we have numbers from 0 to what? To 8. In hexadecimal, from 0 to 7, which is 8 numbers. From in hexadecimal, from 0 to 15, which is 16 numbers. Okay, so the computer itself understands binary, and us as a human, we are using the decimal numbering system because we can go from 0 to 9. Okay, and do you know how to convert the binary equivalent for each number? Guys?
I don't know.
I don't, yeah.
Okay, so let's suppose that I have, okay, 10, and I would like to convert it to binary. Okay?
We divide by 2.
Exactly, we divide by 2. So 10 divided by 2 is equal to what?
5.
5. And what's the remainder?
0.
0. 5 divided by 2 is equal to what?
2.5.
Or
No.
2 remainder 1.
Okay.
2 remainder 1.
Yeah. 2 and the remainder is 1. Okay. And 2 divided by 2.
1 remainder 0.
Remainder 0.
Okay. Remainder is 0 and 1. 1 divided by 2.
0.
0 remainder 1.
Remainder 1. And we go from bottom to top. So 1, 0, 1, 0 is equal to what? To 10 in decimal. Okay. That's in binary, and this is in decimal. Okay. Is that clear, guys?
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks.
So, like, in other words, if we are, like, you know, if we're going to use the polynomial notation, this is 2 to the power 0, 2 to the power 1, 2 to the power 2, and 2 to the power 3. Okay, if we did this, 2 to the power 3 is equal to what, guys? 8. Anything like 0 to any power is 0, still 0, so it's 0, plus 1 to, like, 2 to the power 1 multiplied by 1, it's 2. And 0 to 2 to the power 0 is equal to 0. So if you sum it, it's going to give you 10. Clear?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is like the binary representation of our numbering. And another thing we need to understand is like the storage unit. Okay, so we know byte. What will come after byte?
Kilobyte?
Kilobyte, thank you. After kilobyte.
Megabyte.
Megabyte?
After megabyte.
Gigabyte.
Gigabyte. After gigabyte.
Terabyte.
After terabyte.
Petabyte.
After petabyte.
Giga. No.
Petra?
Exabyte.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay, so that is like the measurement unit for the memory storage. So 1 kilobyte means it's 2 to the power 10, which is 1024. And megabyte, it's like a kilobyte to the power, it's to the power 10. So it's, you do the conversion here. And the byte itself, like the kilobyte, it's used to store, 500 word paper. So if you have a Word document, and you have 500 word, it's usually like 3 kilobyte. Now, when we talk about megabyte, it's like, if you're downloading a compressed, an MP3 song from the iTunes. Gigabyte, you have like an HD movie, which is like, HD, 4.7, which is the size of a DVD. Okay, and terabytes is like, we're talking about like 10 movies from Netflix, 4K. Okay, petabyte is 10 billion photo on Facebook. So this is how you can visualize those measurement units. Okay, so let's get started about Python itself. Okay, so as I mentioned, guys, we are learning a language. So what is the basic thing to understand the language?
Alphabets?
The data types?
Data type. Thank you so much. Okay, so data type is equivalent to the alphabetic, characters in English plus the numbers, plus if I combine them together to create a word. Okay, so in Python is based on something called object-oriented programming language. Everything in Python is belonging to a class that has been implemented by the developer himself. And in week 11, we're going to understand how we can create our own class. But for now, let's call the class a data type itself. So when I say that A is equal to 3, that means A is belonging to class or the data type of what?
Integers.
Integer. Thank you so much. Now, if I use the decimal point here and I say it's 3.0, now I'm no longer at the what? At the integer data type. Now I am at the what?
Float.
I'm at the float. Okay, when I specify word in Python, word itself, like, any word, is represented by a type called what?
String.
Huh?
String.
String. Okay, so to create a string, either you can use 1 comma, double comma, or 3 commas. 3 commas is used for multiple line strings. Now, another important data type is list. So the list are multiple items, okay, that are separated by a comma between square parentheses. Okay.
For the string, In here, does it like store 3 words? Is that what it says here, or no?
No.
Because,
Okay. So this
I
string,
learned it in
yeah.
C++. You just put like string A and
Okay.
equals.
And listen, in Python it's different. Okay. So if do you okay, listen, I wanna I'm gonna stop sharing.
So like what values does it take? That's my question here in this example, for example.
Do you have idle?
Yeah.
Okay, open your idle and share your screen.
Just a moment.
I have a question.
Yeah, just let's address his question first.
Can you see my screen?
Okay, I can see your screen. So type C equal 3. No, equal 3 as a word. One, yeah. Quote, yeah. 3. Okay.
Okay.
Enter. Okay. Now, type. Type. Please. Open parenthesis and put C. Okay, so you see that C is belonging to class string, and now the string itself, you can address each literal in the string by using the indexing operation. Okay, I'm gonna show you, but type C. No. Okay, write C. Okay, C. As a square bracket. Okay, and 0. What do you think it's gonna show?
T.
Okay, enter. Thank you.
Okay, now I understand. Okay. So
all right.
The difference was that we separate each letter with like I think a semicolon.
Okay, now let me like show you the difference in between Python and C++. Now write C equal to 2. Usually in C++, this will give you an error, yeah? Write it. Now type C again. No. Okay, type C again. Just go up. Listen. Use the. Just okay. Go down. Okay. Delete. On the keyboard, you can go. You can click up. No. You can click up. You see the up arrow?
Yeah.
Click it. 1. No, the up arrow on the keyboard.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So where do I go?
Okay. You know what? Just go down and type C again. The same command that you wrote.
Okay.
Type.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. C. Now, what do you think C now belongs to what?
I think it's 2.
Yeah, belongs to which class? Which data type?
Integer.
Integer. Thank you.
Yeah.
And
okay.
if you say like if you write C equal 2.0, it's still 2, but when you type C, now it's gonna belong to what?
Float, I think.
Float.
Yeah.
Amazing. So you can end your sharing, please.
Okay. Thank you.
Professor.
Yeah.
Are fractions floats or integers in Python?
Fraction is float.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So, okay. So let me just continue my sharing. Okay. So,
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah.
So the red line that you write that is written, it is the object that has a type, not the variable. So let's say that we got a memory, and in the memory we got some rooms for the variable to put data or the object inside. So this type of each object is a property of the memory. I mean, the memory is the one that chooses which type is going to be in there, or it's just Python that.
Okay. Let me simplify it to you. in Java and C++, you have to specify the type of the object itself or the variable itself. If you say integer x equal to 3 and you say x equal to 3.2, you're gonna get a syntax error. Okay. However, in Python, the variable itself determines the type of the the value of the variable determines the type of the variable.
So it's not connected to the memory. It has nothing to do with the memory. Actually, it's the
No,
Python
actually, it's in the memory. But what's happening in the background is a reference is created each time,
Yeah.
between the value and the variable. So when he wrote as c equal to 3, the string, the equivalent string in the memory is attached to that variable. Now, when he wrote c equal to, it's no longer that there is no arrow between them. It's, and the reference now between 2 and c. You got it?
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay, so what's the definition of a class now? Because we are, we're dealing with the class. What is the definition of the class?
It's a blueprint.
Okay, continue. You're good. Continue.
So basically, a class is like a blueprint. Like imagine a car. We define something like a car is something that has wheels, and each car can have also some other like a specific info about it. But in general, we assume that all cars have 4 wheels, and this is like a blueprint. Like creating a class is like a blueprint that so we got a car, and car is gonna have 4 wheels. So maybe a car is gonna be red. So we just make your car based on that blueprint, and then we define the color as red.
Amazing. So those called the attribute of the class itself. Yeah.
Yes. But in general, the class itself is just a blueprint.
It's a blueprint. So the class is a blueprint that determine the attributes or the specification of the data type itself, and what kind of methods or functions that can be run by those data type. Okay. So in order to a variable that belongs to that class is called what, guys? Okay, I created a variable that belongs to that class. A in my example, A is what?
An object.
An object. Thank you so much. So if you notice at lab 2, in order to create an object from class turtle, you have to say t.turtle and call the constructor of the turtle. You don't need to understand it 100% now, but I have to explain that to you in order to grasp the information and then start to tie it whenever we reach to the object-oriented topic. Okay. So as you can see, we can we can create multiple variables in Python, and those variables are integer, float, string, and list. There are other types that we will cover it later on, such as tuple, such as dictionary and sets. Okay, but we have to wait. Okay, now as your friend did, so when I did type A will give me it belongs to class integer. Okay, it belongs to class integer. Type B, it belongs to class float. Type C, type is a function, and C itself, what inside the parenthesis is called the parameters or an argument. Okay, now if I did A equal to just square bracket, okay, what does that mean? I'm creating an empty list. That list has nothing. So if you did that and you try to evaluate A, evaluating A means that on the shell itself, just typing A is going to give you an empty list. Okay, and I said type A is going to give you a list itself. Okay, so let's move to the another. So as your friend mentioned, the value of the object determine the type of the object in Python. Okay. Now, each class has, or each data type, okay, let's stick with the data type. Each data type has its own implementation. And let's take an instance of, like, this is 2 to the power 124, okay? 2 to the power 124, it will give you this huge number, okay? Now, if I said 2 to the power 124.0, what I'm gonna get?
The same answer.
Same answer. Who else has another answer or another suggestion?
It should
You'll
be
get an
a
integer?
slug with scientific notation.
Okay. So, okay, let me give you a hint. In integer, you don't have a limit. Okay, you can store as much number as you have. But in float, you do have a limit. So float has just 64, 2 to the power 64. Okay? That means you can go from 0 up to 2 to the power 64 places in the memory. So if I put 2 to the power 124.0 or 0.1, I'm going to get something called a traceback error, like an overflow error. That overflow error means that I exceeded the allowable space in the memory, okay? You see that?
Professor, does using decimals limit the memory?
No, using decimals will not limit the memory. Decimal itself as an integer, but using a float number, you have a limit between 0 to 264 indexing, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, is that clear? Anybody has a question?
So I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to know if we can use integer to do a more calculation, then why we need to use the float? Because you said that.
Yeah, because let's suppose that you're working at the bank and you want to determine the interest rate, okay? So the interest for the mortgage is now like 7%, or like 5%, or the line of credit, 7% based on your credit score. So how you can determine how you can convert 7% to an integer? You need a fraction, okay? But the key point that I'm trying to address here is that integer has no limit to be stored in the memory. You can store as much numbers as you have, regardless of any digits, you know. But when it comes to float, you are stuck between a number that belongs to 0, 0.1, or like multiple times up to 63 digits, okay? Okay, so let's go ahead, go and see like what kind of numbers that I can input it to Python. So 6 is an integer and has no fraction part. -6 is still an integer, okay? So regardless of the sign itself, it's still an integer. 0 itself, it's an integer. However, when I specify a fraction here, half or 0.5, it's a float. Even if I have 1 here, but it's 1.0, it's still considered as a float. Now, 1e6, that is a scientific, representation of a float, which means 1 multiplied to the power, to the 10 to the power 6, and still it's a float, okay? And similarly, 2.96e minus 2, that means you have a negative exponent and still a float, okay? Now, you cannot use a comma to specify a number. This will give you what? An error. And you cannot specify a fraction itself in Python. Okay? Clear?
Yes.
Okay, now let's go ahead and, like we now know the numbers. What can we do with the numbers? We can do arithmetic. Is that right? So how we can translate the actual arithmetic in math into like an equivalent notation in Python? It's using this table itself. So the addition, the regular addition, it's still the addition, okay? So this is the algebraic expression, and Python expression is still the same. So if you want to do like 5 plus 2 in Python, it still will give you 7, okay? Subtraction is still the same. Multiplication is using the star, not the x, okay? So bm, it's equal to b multiplied by m. Exponent, which is what I wasn't in my right mind that time. Okay, so it's not the it's not okay. Let me do this. Okay. So if I want to say 2 to the power 2, okay, in C++ it's specified by 2 and this kind of symbol and to the power 2. In Python is 2 star 2. Okay. Okay, now division. Now I do have two types of division. Okay, integer division and regular division. Do you know what are the difference between them? So if I did here in Python 5 divided by 2, what will be the answer?
2.
Thank you so much. If I did 5 divided by 2,
2.5.
2.5. Thank you so much. So one is a float division and the second one is an integer division. Now the modulus. Do you know what's the modulus?
The modulus gives a remainder.
Remainder, exactly. So if we did, 5 mod 2, what will be the answer?
0.5.
1.
1. It's the remainder of the division operation. 4 mod 2 is equal to what?
0.
0. Thank you. Okay. Anybody has a question about the arithmetic?
Hello, sir. I had a question about integer division. Does it truncate the value or does it round it off?
It rounded to the it ignores the fraction part. It's actual seal,
Okay, so 2.9 will be rounded off to 2, not to 3.
2. Yes, there is no rounding. There is another function, used to to get the approximation.
Okay,
we have to import the math library to do so. Okay, but let's be consistent with the material that we have. Okay.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Okay, so now I explained to you how to do arithmetic in Python, but what about the precedence of the information, of the operation? Do you know which one comes first? Like if I have like this, I have A equal, you did this, 2 minus 3 multiplied by 4, okay, divided by 2 star 4 minus 2 plus 2. So which one will be executed first?
The one with the parentheses.
Okay, we go and apply something called bid mass. What does it mean, bid mass?
Brackets, exponent.
Brackets, exponent, exponential, mathematical, multiplication, and division.
Addition, subtraction.
And okay, addition and subtraction. Okay, so basically, what if we have a parenthesis, we evaluate it first, and if we have multiple parentheses, we go from left to right. Okay. Now, after we evaluate the parenthesis, we're gonna evaluate the exponent itself. Okay. Now, the exponent, it is evaluated from right to left, okay? Because you have to, you have to calculate the power itself, okay? Now, when it comes to like multiplication, float division, integer division, and the modulus itself, it is evaluated from left to right, and they do have the same priority. Okay, so like if I have multiplication and division at the same line, I'm gonna go and execute the multiplication because it is to the left side. Now, addition and subtraction has the lowest precedence, and they are evaluated from left to right. Okay. Now, let me give you an example. Okay. So suppose that we have an expression, a mathematical expression, 2 multiplied by 5 to the power 2 plus 3 multiplied by 5 plus 7. Which one will be executed first?
5 to the power 2.
Exponents.
5 to the power 2. 5 to the power 2.
Thank you so much. It's 5 to the power 2. So I'm going to calculate 5 to the power 2, which is 25, and then I'm going to place it on my mathematical expression. Now I do have 2 multiplied by 25 plus 3 multiplied by 5 plus 7. Okay, so what I'm going to do is evaluate it from left to right. Which one has the precedence? The leftmost multiplication, okay, which is 2 multiplied by 25 is equal to 50. Now 50 plus 3 multiplied by 5 plus 7. Which one has the precedence here?
Multiplication. 3 times 5.
3 times 5. Thank you so much. And so on. So now I do have 50 plus 15 plus 7. So what I'm going to do is, because I have the same operation, evaluate them from leftmost to the rightmost. So I will first calculate 50 plus 15. Then after that, the results, I'm going to add it to 7. And the last step, which is step 6, y will equal to 72. So if you convert this, this expression, or if you write this expression in Python, Python will assign 72. Now, let me ask you something. What if I did the parenthesis here? Which one will be executed first?
Before 7.
The 5 has 11.
What?
So the
5
Is
plus
it the
7.
exponent? Okay, let me make it easier. Is it the exponent notation or the parenthesis?
The parentheses.
Parenthesis.
You sure?
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you so much. That's correct. Okay. So remember, in Python, we have two ways of writing the writing the script or the line of code. One way is by creating a module and run it all together. And the other way is an interactive way, okay? So suppose I have 2 plus 3, this will be evaluated to what? To 5. Now, if I have 7 minus 5, this will be evaluated to 2. Okay, 2 multiplied by the parenthesis of 3 plus 1.
8.
8. 5 divided by 2.
2 remainder 1.
2.5.
2.5.
This is the slope division, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Okay, so 5/2 is 2.5, but 5, and if there's 2 division signs, it's with remainders.
Yeah,
so it's
that's
like
the
2 remainder 1,
integer
right?
division.
Yeah, integer division. Okay.
All right.
Now this is 2, and here, let's test your math skills. 14.
5.
4 or
Around.
5?
You don't estimate up.
It's
Oh.
4.
It's gotta be 4
4.
because it
4.
ignores
Thank you.
the
Okay.
decimal.
Now, what about 4 mod 3?
That's
14 mod
1.
3.
2.
2 or 1?
It's 1.
2.
It is
4
2.
remainder 2, right? 2.
Yes, because you need 3 multiplied by 4 in order to get 12, and the remainder will be 2 to make it 14. Okay, clear?
Yeah, that explains it.
Okay, and this is what? 2 multiplied by 3 or 2 to the power 3?
2 to the power 3.
2 to the power 3, which is 8. Okay, now we understand the algebraic notation. What about the decision making, the Boolean expression itself? Okay, so when I would like to evaluate which variable is greater than the other, which is the first line. So in a standard algebraic equality, it's the great simple, and in Python it's still the great simple. Okay, greater than or equal, this is how I'm gonna write it in Python. Okay, x equal to x greater than or equal to y, and less than, it's equal, less than or equal. And for the equality operators, so if I want to say that x is equal to y, I have to put like 2 equal signs, and not equal, I have to put the exclamation mark and equal. Now the question is, if you did that in your idle, what will be the output? Who can, share his screen and say 5 greater than 2?
I can share it.
Do it.
Okay, so just a second, let me open up a new idle. So I think now you're seeing my idle. This is the previous one for the lab. Oh, sorry, this is the actual code though. So let me just switch to the interactive shell.
Yes.
So I think I should switch to window. Can you see my idle now?
No, we cannot see.
All right, so what about now?
Okay, so type A equal to 5.
Okay, 2.5?
No, 5. 5.
5. All right.
And B equal to 4.
4, yep.
And type A, okay, C. No, C, I want to do C. Okay, C is equal to A greater than B. Enter. Now, if you evaluate C, what will be the output? Okay, before.
So I think that C is going to be true because A is greater than B. So I think it's going to return a true, a Boolean output.
Can you show us?
Okay, so yes, it is true.
Can you type C?
Okay, so type C, yes.
It's a Boolean. Okay. Thank you, Jalil.
You're welcome, sir.
All right. Is that clear for you guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Can you see my screen or what?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Boolean expression will evaluate to something called true or false. Okay, so 2 less than 3, this will give you what? True or false?
True.
True. Okay. 2 greater than 3?
False.
False. 2 is equal to 3?
False.
False. 2 is not equal to 3?
True.
True. 2 is less than or equal to 3?
True.
This one?
False.
False. Now, if I have this, what should I do? Now, what will be the precedence?
Parenthesis. Or what's in the bracket.
Okay. So what is in the bracket? I will calculate it, then multiply it. Okay.
It's gonna be true.
Okay. So the point that I'm trying to make here, if you have, a mix expression that contains both algebraic and Boolean, or arithmetic and Boolean, first you need to evaluate the mathematical or the algebraic operation itself, the arithmetic operation, and then after that you do the comparison. Okay, so this will be equal to 6, this will be equal to 2, which is multiplied by 3. So is 6 equal to 6?
Yes.
True. Okay, is it clear?
Yes.
So why do we need the equality or the Boolean?
Comparing values that are input, maybe?
Comparing values, and another thing.
It is used for checking.
Yes, so to write conditions, okay? This is what we will cover in the if statement. If you would like to, in Python, like the program is executed sequentially, line by line, but sometimes you want to do a decision making, okay? So if the degree is 20 Celsius, you want to print cool. If the degree is 40 Celsius, if you want to print high. So you need to make a condition. Is that true? Are you following with me?
What's the question?
The question is, let's say that I want to ask you to write a program that print cool if the degree is less than or equal to 20, and print high if the degree is greater than or equal to 20.
Okay.
So in that case, I need the Boolean equality or comparison expression in order to do my condition. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Now, what else we should cover in our lecture today? We covered the arithmetic, we covered the Boolean expression, and what else? Have you taken Boolean algebra, guys?
No.
Oh.
In today's class, yeah.
No.
Give us an example, maybe.
Okay, so do you know the OR and operation or the NOT operation?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, perfect.
No.
Okay, so I'm gonna explain it to you guys. Don't worry about it. So the AND operation, it gives you it gives you true. Sorry, if both expression are true. Okay, the OR will give you true if one of the expression is equal to true. The NOT, it will reverse your Boolean value. Let me give you an examples, okay? So if I say 2 less than 3 and 3 less than 4, what should I do first? First, I have to evaluate this expression and then evaluate this expression. And then after that, I'm gonna do the AND. So 2 less than 3, is it true?
Yes.
Yes.
3 less than 4, is it true?
Yes. Yes.
True and true, what will give you?
True.
True.
Okay, so now this is true, false, and this is true. What will be the answer?
False.
False. Okay. If I explicitly write or type false and true, it will give me false. Okay. True and true, it will give me true. It's like going over the, the truth table. You know something called the truth table?
Yes. Yes.
So there's only one situation where you can, 1 out of 4 situations where you can have true.
True in the AND operation, when both of them is equal to true.
So you can use this to set 2 conditions, and you need 2 conditions to be filled out before you can, let's say, grant access to something. Or
depends on how many values you have. So you can do like a Boolean operation between like 3 variables. Then you will have what? Instead of having like 4 possibilities, you will have 8 possibilities.
Would false and false give you true?
What?
Would false and false give you true?
No, false and false will give you false.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So let me give you like an example here. Okay. So suppose that we have 2 Boolean variables, okay? A and B. So what are the combination? It's because we have 2 variables, it's 2 to the power 2. So it's 4 variables. So we start by false, false, then false, true, then true, false, then true, true. And if C is equal to A and, okay, if C is equal to A and B, so that means this will give you false if you have this combination, false, false, and this is the only one that will give you true. But if D is equal to A or B, so this will give you false. This will give you false. This will give you what? True, because we have at least this one as a true. So this is false, then this is true. This one will give you true because this one is a true, and this one will give you true itself. Okay? Now, it doesn't necessarily means that I can do conditions between 2, like 2 expressions. I can do it for 3. So if I have A, B, and C, now I will have like 8 possibilities. So false, 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 true, false, true, false, then false, true, true, then true, false, false, then true, false, true, then, okay, let's say here, okay, true, true, false, and then true, true, true. How many possibilities I have? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In total, 8. Okay. How can I determine that? I have 3 variables, so 2 to the power 3 will give me 8. Okay. If I have 4 variables, I will have 16 combinations. Clear?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, so can I ask a quick question?
Yeah, ask me.
Okay, so if the operation gives one of them off as false and another one is true, it's false or true?
Oh, which one? Like you're saying or and?
Or oh, never mind. I didn't realize that you were talking about ors.
Okay.
I thought it was just all ands.
Yeah. Okay. So this will give you true. Now, false or true, it's going to give you true because this one is called true. Okay. False or false will give you false. Okay. Now, not 3 less than 4. So first of all, we have to do the parenthesis here. 3 less than 4 is it true. Not true. What will give you? You're negating the true.
False.
False. Thank you. Not true, false. Not false, true. And this one, we have 4 plus 1 equal to 5, or 4 minus 1 less than 4. So in this condition, which operation we should give it the first priority? The highest priority, I mean.
The one on the left.
The one in the left. Okay, which is 5. And after that,
4 minus 1.
4 minus 1. Thank you so much. Then, so we have 5 is equal to 5, which is a true, and 3 less than 4, which is false. But true or false will give you what?
3 less than
I
4
think
is
you
true,
made a
right?
mistake.
True.
3 is less than 4.
It's true or false.
The second one is actually true.
It'd be true because 4
True.
greater than 3.
Yeah.
So true and true.
Oh, true and true. Sorry. I'm like, thank you. Okay. Okay, guys. Do you have any question? Do you?
No.
Okay, no questions? Okay, because you have no questions, go ahead and do this exercise. All of you. And the person who finished first will share his screen with me, or her screen with me.
Professor, do we write this in idle?
Yeah,
Okay.
or
Thank you.
whatever you want. Let me know once you finish, okay?
Wait, did class finish?
No, we're
Yeah,
supposed to
Renzo.
solve it.
No, we're doing problems
Yeah, just-
here.
Who did finish?
I think the class ended.
Class ended?
Yeah, it should be 8:51. I'm sorry, 3:51.
Okay, so let me show you the solution, okay? But next time when I say exercise, you have to do it, okay? So the difference between Annie's age and Ellie's age, it's simply like 25 minus 21, all right? The total of, 14.9, 27.95, and 19, the total, 19.83. It's an addition operation between these 3 operands. So what's the operand? The operand is, the variable or the value that is surrounded by an operation. It's called an operand, okay? So it's an addition, all right? Now, the area of a rectangle of the length 20, the length equal to 20, and the width is equal to 15. That's what a multiplication operation, which is 20 multiplied by 15. Okay, 2 to the power 10, it's 124. We know that. 3 equal to 4 minus 1. So what we have to do, 3 equal, 4 minus 2. Okay? And this will give you what? False. The value of 17 divided integer division by 5 is 3. Now, this is like tricky because you thought that this is, I want you to do the, like, you know, a division, but the thing is, it's a Boolean. This will evaluate it with a Boolean. So what we have to do, 17 divided by 3 equal to 3. Okay, and this will give you true. 17 mod 5 is equal to 3. So equal to 3, and this will give you what, guys? False. Yeah. 284 is an even number. Is even. So how we can do that?
284 modulus 2 equal 0.
Thank you so much. Okay. 284 is even, and 284 is divisible by 3. So this is the first condition, and this is the second condition. So we do the mod, then we do what? The integer division. Okay. Or no, with the mod by 3. Okay. So is that true or false?
False.
False. Thank you. This is 284 is even, or 284 is odd. So the same thing, but instead of and, we're gonna do or, and we write it, and this will give you what, guys? True, because the first expression here will give us true. So true or false will equal to true. Okay, so I think we're gonna continue like on Friday. So let me stop. Anybody who okay, stop sharing. Anybody has a question?
Sure,
I
you
just
explained it well. Thanks.
Was it like straightforward?
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah. Okay. So anybody who wants to ask me, he can stay. If you don't have any questions, you can leave.
Professor?
Yeah.
Do we need to tap the print before we do the calculations?
No, like if I ask you to print it itself, you have to print. But here we are just evaluating, you know?
Okay. And
Okay.
0 represent all the even number, and how about the odd number?
Odd numbers is from 1, 3, you know, 5.
So,
yeah.
So when we classify if it's a even or odd number, we're just typing if it's equal to 0 or 1, right? Or any random number that is belongs to their class.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so let's start with Janet. Janet, you can unmute yourself.
Hi, I was wondering about the first assignment that is due on September the 17th, so Friday. I don't know if you mentioned this at the beginning of the lecture, but what is the assignment? Because I haven't seen any documents.
Assignment 0.
Oh, that was assignment 0?
Yeah.
But it says that that assignment is worth 3.5%, so I don't know if that's the assignment we're talking about.
I will update the dates.
I know the answer. The first assignment is given September 17th, but it's due the week after.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Alexander, and thank you both. Okay, now, Wa Lam Tang.
Hello, sir. I just want to know that I remember that the PowerPoint have the scheme to show me that for example, 1E3 is equal to 1,000. Typing in the cell, but I tried 1E minus 3 is equal to 0.001. That's normal, but when I try 1E minus 6, it didn't show me the decimal places, and it shows me 1E minus 0.6. And I just
Can you share the screen? Can you share the screen?
Oh, sure. Here, the last one. The last three. So I want to know why when I apply this, it didn't show me the decimal places, and it showed me this one.
Just say print.
Separate?
Print. Okay. 1. Open the, yeah.
Close bracket.
No, just the same expression, because in Python, it can understand that this is a scientific notation and it will evaluate it to the value itself. Okay?
Okay. So what do I do now?
E minus 6.
E minus 6. Close bracket.
Yeah. 1 to the power E minus 6.
To the power E minus 6. This one?
Yeah.
Oh.
No. Okay. So first we have to. No. That's wrong. First we have to like. Okay. Say integer. No, integer. int. Open parenthesis.
Open parenthesis.
Open bracket. And do the same thing. 1e minus. Yes. So it will give you the 0. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, now if you do it with a float, do it again. Yeah. Okay, it will still show you this. Okay, I think we have to import math as a library in order to show exactly the number. Okay?
Oh. Okay.
This is still like, this is still like a valid number in Python,
Oh, I see.
Okay.
So it won't show, and if I
will not show the fraction.
Oh, okay.
But I like, and next time I'm going to show you how we can show it, because we have to open a file, import math, because the math library, we can convert it. We can convert the exponential to an actual value. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you can end your sharing.
Okay, thank you very much.
No, the assignment will be about whatever we covered in the class. Okay, now we have Soham.
Yeah, hi sir. I just wanted to ask what double slash means.
Integer division. Integer divisions means that you're stripping the integer part and you're forgetting about the remainder.
Oh, okay. So double slash means no remainder, and slash means include remainder.
Exactly. Include the fraction part.
Okay, great. Thank you, sir. Have a nice day.
Yeah. Taufu.
Yeah, like the program in the lab yesterday, it doesn't work in my side.
Okay, but the TA is supposed to give you the solution.
But I tried many different methods, like download it again and update my laptop system, but it still doesn't work.
Okay, do you have time to attend another lab session?
Maybe, but by the way, when will be the next lab?
Okay, we have Friday. Okay, if you go to the announcement, you see the schedule.
Okay, I'll take a look at it.
Okay. Okay, now this is a very long. Naren, can you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I had a question relating to what is the difference between types and class in Python?
Types
and class.
And the clause?
Class.
Can you show me? Like,
classes. I actually don't have it on my screen. We said about something about object and classes.
Class, you mean?
Yeah.
The class is the blueprint. So if you have a class car, the car itself is a class. If you have Ford, it's an object of that class car. Okay?
Okay,
So,
I get it.
okay, now if you have 5 is an object of the class integer. Okay?
Okay. So, for example, if I say C is equal to 4, C is an object of the class integer.
Exactly.
But then what is the difference between class and type? Is it the same thing? Because
For
the
now,
type of
type is a function that will show you the type of that class.
Okay.
For now, we consider it a data type. Okay? But later on, we're going to understand what is the meaning of class. 100%.
Okay, thank you.
William.
Yeah. Is there any like work we should do before the next class?
No. Just
Oh,
go
no,
over go over whatever exercises we whatever slides we discussed. If you didn't understand anything, make sure to read the equivalent part from your textbook. That's it.
Okay, sir. Have a nice day.
Okay, Jason.
Hi, Professor. So I have 2 questions. The first being, I wasn't able to join on my laptop. I was one of the people who had issues joining earlier, so I wasn't able to make it onto the meet until 20 minutes into the class, which is fine. I could watch the recording later, but I'm still unable to connect on my computer, but I can connect on my iPad, and that's pretty much it. So if I were to ever need to share my screen with you, like if I were to be practicing a code or something, I wouldn't be able to. Is there any reason why you can imagine I wouldn't be able to join on my computer?
Reason is you have to attach your URL account to the Zoom.
Yeah, I tried that as well, and when I did put it in, it said that I'm unable to connect and that I was being blocked by a firewall or proxy. Would that mean I need maybe a VPN because I'm off campus? And I know that with some other resources for the university, you would need a VPN to show.
Where are you?
I'm in the Greater Toronto area, the GTA.
Okay, the GTA will allow you. So I think you have to go to the firewall and open the ports on Zoom. Allow it.
Allow it? Okay, so go on Zoom and open it on there.
No. Okay. Let me share with you. Share something. Okay, let's share my screen. Okay, you type here. See that? Windows Defender firewall with advanced security.
So, Professor, I'm actually on a MacBook, but I assume it's like the same kind of idea, right? Just find your firewall defender and allow it.
Oh, you're in a MacBook. Okay.
Yes.
So in a MacBook, you go to accessibility and you grant an administrator access to that.
Okay.
Okay.
So then just accessibility and grant administrator access.
Yes, to Zoom.
All right, thank you. So that would be, I guess, how I would get in for the first question. And for my next question, it's just since I am on a MacBook, I'm not using the idle. I'm using it's a MacBook application called Terminal. Is that fine to code on, or that's fine?
Yeah, fine, 100% fine.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Professor.
Okay. Avinash.
Yes, sir. Just had a question. I just got enrolled into my lab yesterday, and I missed the lab session for Monday at the late session for the lab, and I just wanted to know if it was possible for me to attend the lab on Friday so that I can catch up on what I missed.
Yeah. It's you go to announcement and you will see what time it is at 8:30.
Okay, then after the lab session of Friday next week, I can come back on Monday, right?
Yes, until till the TA that you have my permission to attend the lab there, so he will give you the mark. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Wenji Cheng.
Hi, Professor.
Hi.
I have a problem about assignment 0.
Yeah. What was your problem?
What is the due date of assignment 0?
It's at the lab. Have you taken the lab?
No, my lab is on Friday. And
Okay. At Friday, they will teach you how to do assignment 0.
Okay. In the last week, we don't have any lab. Yes.
Yeah. This week you will have the lab.
Yes.
Okay.
And Professor, Can I have a suggestion for you?
Have you attended my first class?
Yes.
Or have you enrolled in Coursera?
What?
Coursera. The courses in Coursera. You go to resources, there is 2 courses.
Yes. Could you please inform students the dates of the pop-up tests? Because like some students like us in China or other time zone, it is in the midnight. So if we do the test, we maybe do very, very bad.
You want me to change the time?
No. What I mean is, can you please tell me what's the date of the test?
Can you go to to course outline and you see the date there? It's on Saturday.
Oh, okay. What I mean is, I want to know which class we will schedule the pop-up test. That's just a suggestion, and no, that's it. Thank you, Professor.
It's okay. It's okay. Okay, just stay. I'm gonna talk to you in private. Okay.
Okay.
One day. Okay. Tao, did I answer you?
Yeah, I have checked my schedule and I found like I thought tomorrow there will be a lab, but in the morning I have a class, and on Friday I still have a class. Like maybe I can only attend the lab from the middle from 10 to 11.
When it comes to labs are mandatory, so you need to attend them. Now you have to work with your with the Office of Registration to find a suitable lab that suits your schedule. Okay.
But I have attended, but like there are some issue about when the turtle smell.
What's the question?
Like the turtle smell doesn't work in my side. I attended the lab yesterday.
And the TA did not help you to?
It's not solved.
Okay. So attend the one at Friday, at the morning.
Okay, but I may only attend it until 10. Will that be okay?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll see you on Friday.
Okay.
Bye. Have a good day.
You too. Who else has a question for me?
Professor, I just had another quick one. I'm in the lab session for tomorrow, but when I go on Zoom, I only see it only gives me the option to see the Monday lab session.
Yeah. Tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow, you will have you will see the option for Wednesday lab.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Another question? If you don't have a question, just leave the meeting. Salim? Do you have a question, guys?
No, I'm good. I was just listening to the other questions.
Okay, thank you. Okay, ask me. You want in a private?
Hi, Professor.
No. Okay, I have Caitlin. Caitlin, what's your question? Okay. What are Boolean operation? Boolean operation is used to specify if a condition is true or false. Okay. And the truth table is, it's kind of, a table that stipulates all the possibilities of the variables, combinations, and will give you the output based on the operation itself. So if you have an AND, it's only become true if you have both variables, true. If you have an OR will becomes true in all possibilities except when all the variables are false. Did I answer your question? And or are they inputted? Yeah. Yes, yes. Or and yes, and or are keywords in Python. They used to do like a Boolean operation. Are you good? The use in real life is, yes, the use in real life is to like, you know, to do a condition, you know, like to write a condition. So like, let's say that, you know, okay, you want an example. So let's say that, you know, you have to write a program that, you know, print hello world if a variable is equal to 1, and if the variable is like greater than 1 and less than 3. Okay, so what you have to do first, you have to, like, you know, input the variable, and then you have to check exactly. You have to make that variable. No, first, like, you know, you have to input the variable itself. Okay, in Python, we will show you that there is something called input. The function input will wait for the user to do like to enter the value of the variable, and then it will be like 1. The variable like input like this. Okay, let me give you an example. Input A. Okay, and after that you have to do like F, open a parenthesis, A is greater than or equal to 1, or and A is less than or equal to 3. Okay, then print hello world. Okay, so we'll cover that in the like if statement. Exactly, conditional. So instead of executing all the lines one by one, we can skip if the condition is not satisfied. Yes, the problem statement will define what conditions we need. Exactly, yeah. But what if you need to specify multiple conditions? So I told you, like, you know, if it's equal, or you see that? Okay, so for instance, you want to determine if a year is a leap year. You know the leap year that has like 29 days in February? Yes. So if you search in Google leap year, it will give you a formula. So if it's like, you know, if the year comes after 4 years, yeah, leap year in Python, exactly. Okay, great. Yeah, I will make sure to like that you're gonna understand it when we reach the F statement. Okay, don't worry about it now. Whiteley Wu, do you have a question? Okay. Caitlin, are you still here? Okay, let me go to Zoom. Okay, she left. Okay, do you have a question, Wenji? Thailand? No questions? So, goodbye.
Professor,
Yeah.
you say you will tell me in a private session.
Yeah. Okay, just let me like Whitey Wu, do you have a question? All right, goodbye. Okay, now, Wenji, what's going on?
I'm very sorry for making that suggestions.
Okay, so can you open bright space and share your screen with me?
Professor, could you please stop recording?
Oh yeah. Just forget that.